Today I'm going to show you how to make a savoury meatball pastry. What the ingredients that you need, I had 2 brown onions, about a handful of mushrooms, so maybe about 150 grams, 200 grams. I'm going to also add in some tomato paste for taste, salt, pepper, black pepper is preferred, some garlic paste, olive oil. I'm using a pork mince. You can choose to use chicken. I haven't tried it with beef yet, so that could work as well. And some puff pastry, so sheets of puff pastry. Now I've cut up my 2 onions into small, I've diced it up into small pieces, and I've also sliced up the mushrooms already. What I found recently and what someone showed me was basically a wet paper towel to clean and wipe clean the mushrooms rather than straight under the tap, because that's just going to make it really soggy. And once you've cleaned that off, what I do is I usually cut the stem off because that's a bit brown. And then I just slice it up into thin slices. What I'm going to do first also is to bring out the taste, I'm going to saute the onions first, so soften it with a bit of olive oil and butter. And then I'm also going to add the mushroom in as well to basically pre-cook that, and then I'll add it into the pork mince. So that will also, because we're baking it, it's going to make it a lot easier to cook in the oven as well. So the key is to minimize as much time in the kitchen as possible, seeing as though it's probably where we're spending most of the ISO days these days. So I'm going to heat up the pan with some olive oil and some butter, and then I'm going to add the onions in first, and garlic paste. So, why does this oven never work? Alright, got it. So while the mushroom and onion mixture is cooling down, I'm going to prepare the meat mixture. So I've got here about 450 grams of minced pork, and so I'm just going to put that into a mixing bowl. Now a good hack is because everyone's doing takeaway now, plastic usage is probably going to go back up. So what I've done is I kept and some of you are probably already doing this, but I've kept the takeaway containers, washed them clean, and I put in all my anything that needs to be in the freezer into those boxes. So sausage, mince, even smaller items like chili or ginger, when you don't use up all of it, I always freeze them so that they last a bit longer. And it actually stacks easier in the freezer as well, so saves you from using the little freezer bags too. So or even plastic cling wrap. It's just yeah, a little bit of recycling. Now I don't know if you've heard me before, but because I had the ventilation on it, it's pretty loud. So 2 onion actually looks like a lot for this meat mixture. So you can either add in a bit more mince or lessen the onion mixture in there. Again, what I was saying was I usually don't like onions, but it does add that taste texture and also that sweetness as well. So then you don't have to use additional sugar. Also, the health benefit of onion is just too good to not use at the moment. So I've just broken up the mince and I'm just going to add a bit of water in there, not to overwork it. Never overwork your meat. So yeah, so the health benefits of onion: anti-inflammatory, good for blood pressure as well, good for to avoid blood clots, and also lower your cholesterol. So no harm in adding that. I've got about three teaspoons of garlic paste in there just now. Mixing that through. And I always like to add in a bit of ginger, just a tiny bit, for a bit of taste. And this is ginger paste that you can get from the supermarket. For a bit of taste, but also, again, the health benefits of ginger is super good. So promotes blood circulation, heats up your internal system as well. So for there's any yogis out there, you know how important it is to be to have that core, you know, that internal heat in your core, to keep everything working, blood circulation, your muscles when you overwork them, and also improves your metabolism as well. So yeah, just a little bit shall do. I'm gonna add in some cracked black pepper, so for taste. And I love pepper, so never too much. But obviously, if you don't like that much pepper, you don't have to add in too much. So I usually probably just lightly cover the top layer. And that sounds really good. So I might also add in a little bit of white pepper, again for taste. You don't have to. And as always, people who know me know that I don't really measure in cooking. And that is why you probably won't get a lot of baking recipes from me. I'm going to add in some sea salt as well. Now I add this to everything. Beef bone broth, and it's really good for immune joint and gut health. So it's got collagen, calcium, vitamin B, and it comes in a powder form. It comes in different flavors as well, and also you don't have to buy the beef bone broth. I think they come in chicken and also vegan. I like the beef bone broth better because I find it a lot tastier. I know friends who have purchased this, and you can actually just add in a teaspoonful straight into hot water, and you can drink it like a bit of soup to improve your immunity. But I generally add it into my cooking. It sort of takes the place of stock, so gives it a bit of gives a little bit of taste, and it just yeah, it's just really good for you. So mixing this in. Now I'm adding tomato paste into this mixture. You don't have to. I just like tomato, and I usually use the one in the little plastic tub. So I'm going to go in with half first to see how it goes, and if I need more, I can always add more. It's easier to always add more and to take it out. You can't really take it out. I might add in a little bit more, so then that makes it about 2/3 of the tub that I've used. So, and it gives it a bit of tang as well and flavour. So I'm going to mix that through, and then I'm going to add in my onion and mushroom mixture again gradually to see that it's not too, that the ratio will be just right. So the meat mixture is done, and I preheated the oven to about 180 degrees fan force. I think if it's like a non-fan force, it is 195. I've also lined my baking trays with foil and greased it up with some melted butter. You don't have to do the butter bit if you're using baking paper, but I don't have any baking paper, so I'm using foil. Grease it up with butter. The shiny side of the foil goes face down so that the light in the oven, if it's always on, it doesn't reflect the heat and everything gets cooked through. So what I've done is I got the puff pastry sheets. So I've used about 2 sheets so far, and I've cut the puff pastry sheets into 9 squares. So third into 3s, and then 3s the other way, into little squares like this. You can use like a cookie cutter to turn them into like little round puffs, but I don't like wastage, so just using them, just the square ones. So after you've cut them into the squares, I've placed them onto the baking tray, and I'm just using like a small espresso cup to make a sort of indentation in the center of the pastry. That's where the meatball's gonna go, and then within that indentation, just use a little fork to poke little holes through, so that basically it lets the air out while it's cooking, so that the meatball actually stays in the middle and it doesn't puff up and fall off. So this just releases the air, and also it helps the meat cook faster actually. So that's all done. What I'm going to do is I can pretty much use a spoon to scoop out little balls in the center of it and then pop them in the oven. If you've got like a melon baller, that's even better. I don't have one, so I'm just going to use a small teaspoon. Actually, I do have some measuring spoons, some Christmas ones, which is or even a tea scoop. So that might be too small. I'm going to use my little gingerbread Christmas measuring spoon, and that sort of fits almost over the dent. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to scoop them all in and then pop them in the oven. I was just debating whether I should actually brush it with the egg wash or not, but I'm gonna stick to my original plans and sort of do that closer towards the end, and then and then that way it won't burn. 25 minutes and it is out of the oven. I did sort of around 15 minutes into it when the pastry was pretty much puffed, and I can see that everything was cooking pretty quickly. I went in and I brushed it with the egg wash, so it's nice and brown, and left it back in there for another 10 to 25 minutes. Just keep checking on it, make sure it's not burning, and you'll notice like the juice from the meat, the liquid will run out during the whole cooking process. Don't worry too much about it, because as you can see here, they sort of dry it out anyway, and if you buttered coated the baking tray enough anyway, it's not going to stick. But yeah, so this is the finished product.